It is the worst of the Riot podcast for Monday, October 2nd, and our final day for a while where Nikki gets to join us.
Oh, remember I mentioned the first day I was filling in, Hudson seems to be the one utilizing me filling in for his vacation. So
yes.
You're next, Isaiah. You pick a day and you take that day off.
I've been planning. I've had like multiple things that I've tried to plan. Like I was going to go to Seattle and visit my friend who lives there again this year because I did that earlier this year. But the weekend that he wanted me to come was Halloween, and I already had plans for a concert that weekend.
Aww.
So then I was like, I was going to do a Florida trip a couple weeks ago. That fell through because my dad and my brother went. I didn't end up going. I got busy.
No.
But I'm going to go. I think I'm going to make a Florida trip here soon in the next month or so to get down there to the warmth.
So do you feel like you should, if not, because some people just take like a personal day and just stay at home. Are you just not a staycation? You'd rather just come into work? Okay.
I am. I feel like because I wake up, like by the time I get up in the morning, like I'm not missing anything when I'm at work because I get off so early that I feel as if by the time, if I take just a day off, by the time that I wake up on that day off, if I'm just staying at home, that'll be at the time that I was getting off work.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've wasted the day.
Yes. So you might as well just wait till you can do it on an actual vacation.
Yeah, I like to save them for vacation days. So I'm gonna plan. I'm gonna plan something. I'm planning some things, and I'll let you know a couple days before that I won't be in.
Thank you. If not, it's just always fun to fill in. But I'm just like, wow, Hudson's doing a vacation again. It's Hudson.
I know, ridiculous. And so he's on vacation right now. And one of the things that we talked about before that I had asked Hudson, like, if he's gonna be like, what's the biggest fight that him and Angela are gonna have while they're on vacation? So that's the thing I'm most excited when he comes back. I'm assuming they're gonna have at least one fight while they're on vacation, and so I'm excited to hear what he has to say. But one thing we talked about on the podcast today was what had to have been a fight between Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble.
Oh, because she said no, and he's like, wait, but then I think she bankrolls everything. I mean, not to be 100%, mean, but like that's just how that is. So you can't really go against her, probably. But you'll hear what we talk about, and I think we mostly talk about the show itself.
Yeah, exactly.
How we like the show.
And so I have to ask you, Nikki, has there ever been a time where Eric really wanted to do something and you were just completely against it?
He is not allowed to make any major decisions, like any major ones. And that stems from he got a motorcycle.
I knew there was going to be a motorcycle. I knew there was going to be a vehicle involved.
It is. And I didn't want this motorcycle. I love motorcycles. I don't think they're the worst, but they're way more dangerous than people think. And I told Eric, I said, no, this is like a waste of money. You have to go get your license for it. He did all the classes.
Did you know he was doing the classes, or was he doing them in secret?
I did. Okay. And he even bought the bike before he had his license.
Oh, of
so
course.
Like, he was all in, and I wanted to be supportive. And then he crashed it the day after he had his license, I think, in our neighborhood.
No chance. The second day he got it?
He had to have surgery for a major, like it ripped off skin off his knee. It broke his finger so bad he had to have surgery on it. And it was in a splint forever. And I was like, the whole I told you so was so real. And then he got to sell the bike for way less because he wrecked it.
Of course. Yeah. That's how that works.
So I'm usually pretty supportive. I try not to like lord that over him. But if it's a major decision, I always reference. He told me when he got out of the hospital, he told me, he's like, hey, if I ever do this again, you have final say so on like if we can or cannot. So I understand, but you want to be supportive.
Now he's regretting that motorcycle purchase every day. He's like, if I didn't get that motorcycle, think of the cool things I could have today.
Man, I hated that bike, and he still keeps the helmet because every so often he's like, hey, should we? I'm like, no, we shouldn't.
He'll like bring it out of the bar, and you're like, no, never.
No, it still has skids on it. Like it has on parts where he crashed and it, slid on it. And I just like, you see that part there? That's why we're not doing this again.
The wild part is just the length of like the short length of period that he was able to ride it. It was like a 1 day fun thing.
That was it.
It was a big cost for him. Well, that's all that and more on the Words to the Riot podcast today. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
A lonely tortoise on the run.
Oh, did he? Well, he's on the run. Did he do something? Did he rob a bank?
He's escaped. Slowly robbed the bank. He's escaped from his enclosure in Layton, Pennsylvania. So essentially, he is the veterinarian's pet.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's common. Like my vet had Bob the cat. And so like sometimes vets will have their in-house a rescue or something. And they're kind of known for, they stay there. They stay and live at the vet place.
Yeah. So this one, his name's Tank. He also goes by Houdini.
Oh, no.
He's escaped apparently 3 times from the Mahoning Valley Animal Hospital. So he's in like some sort of, it seems like a fenced in outdoor pen.
Yeah, like an enclosure.
Which seems weird to have at a vet hospital, but either way, there was like a hole in it. And
this
I guess
is what you have a problem with?
Yes. Seems weird to have a pen outside a vet hospital. Maybe you should be inside, but I don't know.
Well, for the dogs that go in, like for boarding and stuff, usually they have to go pee somewhere. So they have like usually a fenced in enclosure.
So they go out there and they pee next to Tank. I got it.
Yeah, he's just out there.
So apparently Tank like plowed, this is how they said it, plowed through a hole in the fence, which I can't imagine a tortoise moving fast enough to plow through anything. Like it sounds like he kind of just like wedged his way through.
Yeah.
But he's been on the run now for multiple days.
Aww.
And they haven't been able to find him. They said the last time he was missing, he was gone for about 2 weeks before they found him. But like tortoises are slow. Like how is he getting far enough away?
They're faster than you think. And I think that's why you're just not expecting them to go anywhere. And so if you're not checking on it every night, you're like, oh, Tank, okay, good night, Tank, or we're leaving. He could get out and get further away than you think.
It says the animal hospital says Tank is very food driven. And they're telling everyone to keep their eyes out for him. He could be chomping on someone's garden somewhere.
Okay, he's not coming to our place.
But he's not vicious. So. He's not vicious, and he doesn't bite, apparently.
Well, they're more concerned because I only learned this from watching a couple of random turtle videos that pop up on TikTok, which is where we learn everything.
Yes.
But I think some turtles bury themselves for the winter. So they say in this area in Pennsylvania, like a turtle can't just live out in the elements throughout the winter. It would normally die. And so they bury themselves underground and then they'll come back or be like dug up in the springtime. So they really want Tank to come in since it's getting colder. They're afraid he'll die.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine the sadness of the vet?
You find Tank dead in your yard. Like they need to find him.
They need to find him because it's going to, like, they only have a matter of time before it is going to get cold. Mm-hmm. And so hopefully.
So that's why they're really worried now.
Yeah. Since considering this is the 3rd time he's escaped, you think they would have shored up the pen? Like after he gets out twice.
This is on them.
Yeah. Like
this is on them.
If a turtle is escaping your enclosure, like it's not like he's climbing out. There's just continual holes in the fence. Like how has he gotten out? He's not like fast enough to like sneak through when the door's open.
And he's not chewing through it. So this is their bad. So they really need to find Tank and then get a new fence, a whole new system.
All right, well, be on the lookout for Tank.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
I mean, they've been working on AI glasses for quite some time, and then Apple has theirs, and then like even Snapchat had some old ones. So like there's variations of these smart glasses and what all it does.
Yeah, and these ones, they just like released what they look like. They're fashionable. Mm-hmm. They look good, but this whole thing gives me like a creepy vibe.
Because you don't like the AI aspect of it, or you don't like the actual look? Because they look like Ray-Bans.
No, I like the look of them. I think they look sharp. I don't like that they have like that little camera on there. Like it makes me feel like if I'm walking around and someone's wearing these, that they're just taking videos of me doing embarrassing things.
That is something, because normally if someone had a camera attached to their glasses, they're like going to get arrested because they're
like
peeping on you or something. Yes. Yeah. So there is something to that. And you're like, no, it's meta.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's the future, dude.
It's fine, but I don't know. And not everybody wears glasses. So it is a different thing if you don't like the look, or if your glasses are prescription and stuff.
Yeah, one of the big worries is the privacy aspects, given that their cameras allow wearers to capture photos and videos on the sly. Like, that sounds creepy. Like, this all just seems very creepy.
People are creepy, so you really have to think about it. Because what if they take this like into the bathroom or something?
Exactly.
Or a changing room. Like, you'd have to be like, sir or ma'am, can you put your glasses away?
Yeah.
But what if they need them to wear? I don't know.
That'll be like the whole, like 10 years from now, everyone is, if you wear glasses, that's going to be the most annoying thing ever, because every time that you walk in anywhere, places are going to be asking you, like, are they AI glasses? Can you please take them off? But the cool accessories that aren't weird that these glasses are apparently able to do is including the ability to identify places and objects that people are seeing in real time.
Ooh, so when you're wearing them, it could notify you of stuff. They also said the AI stuff will be able to identify people. So if you're using the AI function, it's like a live stream. So it's doing stuff in the moment. So if you like walked into the room and there was, Hudson over in the corner, it would identify him.
No way.
And they're saying the issue for privacy is like, well, what if I didn't want to be identified in an AI online sort of way, instead of just person to person, or if you didn't even know the person, but Meta had they have your face. So there's, I don't know.
It's getting creepy. Like, if you own these, I'm like, are you weird? You might be. Because, like, when I think about this, too, it's like, if I'm wearing these glasses, then, like, every girl that's my gym crush, I automatically get to know her name. Like, I walk through Kroger, I'm like, oh, she's beautiful. Her name's Janet. Now it's weird.
Yep, you know her. See, and again, it's not like the technology's weird. It's sometimes the negative is the potential of the people wearing it are weird.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
Americans find bringing up therapy to be real attractive on a first date. Initial thoughts,
first
Nikki.
Date?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so wait, say it again. We're bringing up, like, if you go to therapy or if you have depression or something, like you're saying.
Mental health as a whole, yeah.
Mental health, if you had something, you're disclosing that on a first date.
Yeah, they're saying that makes you more attractive. At least the wild part is it's 50%. So it's really like
dating.
Yeah. It's either found attractive or hesitant is the other option.
In all honesty, I feel like a lot of people hold stuff back to disperse in different dates, when appropriate, so that they get to know the real you.
Yeah.
And it's not lying. It's just you don't want to hit everybody with everything at once.
Yeah, you don't want to give them all your trauma right away.
You don't, because it's overwhelming. And it's just not necessary to dump on someone maybe everything about you if you're not going to actually make it as a couple. But I still worry that I think it's good to be honest in the beginning, especially if they ask you questions about it. But then I'm afraid, well, a lot of times people just still hide things. So what are you hiding?
Yeah, exactly.
What is more
left?
than that? I don't know.
After that, like, once you get through, like, whatever the mental health thing you're going through, like, what's your next thing that you're like, next date, I guess I'll throw this on them. Like, that's kind of what I think. And, like, for it to be 50% as well, I could see this maybe, and for some, like, women, maybe if, like, a guy brought this up, I could see maybe that means that he's, like, an open guy. He's okay with talking about mental health and things like that. Like, that could be a positive and things like that. But for the majority on the first date, this seems like a wild maneuver.
They say that, and this is 100% true, everybody looks for red flags when dating, and they're saying mental health is not a red flag. So, like, if you have any mental health issues, that's not the problem. That's not a red flag. But a lot of times just saying everything and, perhaps just going a little bit overboard with sharing with a new person was normally seen as a red flag before. And they're saying that's not really the case anymore, that you could be more open about what sort of things you're going through or how you're dealing with that, kind of more than what you're going through.
I will say, for me, if I was on the first date, I would prefer you not bring that on me on the first date.
Well, then you're not a modern enough man, because this is what everybody's doing.
Not to be the bad guy at all, but I feel like I would rather, like, know what your parents do, or maybe if you have a pet. Like, I feel like there's so many things that you can talk. Like, there's so many things that you could really fill that void with on the first date. Like, I barely know you. And so I feel like there's a lot of things we could talk about.
This is really covering mostly if you go to therapy or not. So if you go to therapy, if you want to talk about that, but maybe you don't talk about why you go to therapy. You don't
Leave
get
that
into
as just
all
an
of
open
that.
door.
That could be another date.
A big mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go. Next time, we'll talk about why I go. Leave a little mystery for you.
Yeah.
A little mystery for you if you like that. Yeah, for me, I would say maybe on the first date, stick it to like cats and dogs and middle names and things like that and favorite foods. But if you want to whip it out there, apparently it's a 50-50 flip. So somebody's going to like it.
I like yours. Like, what's your middle name?
Yeah, exactly. I would much rather have that conversation. Named after my grandfather. No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I would rather do that than
Now
be like,
that's a
on
date.
Tuesdays, therapy. All right, well.
Add a little Riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
The Jenner family. Kris Jenner, Corey Gamble dating, correct?
I think so. I mean, we only know based on the gossip, but I think they're kind of like not married, but just
Together.
pretty close. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
what do you call that? Like, close enough.
Close enough, yeah. Well, Corey Gamble, who obviously name brand much smaller than Kris Jenner's name, but he finally got the opportunity to move out of her shadow, and she just puts a stop to it. Stops
What
him
did
dead
he
in his
get?
trap. So apparently, he was offered a role in Yellowstone,
The show?
the hit TV show. And she forced him to turn it down because she thought he was going to have a romantic relationship on the show, in parentheses.
Oh, so she didn't want him to like kiss someone else on the TV show?
Yes. And then this was all aired on like the Kardashians show on like
Yeah.
on this past Thursday season 4 premiere. This was a moment in it, and then Chloe said to her mother, she said, "But if they said that they wanted you to star and kiss with Kevin Costner,
Kevin Costner. Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you would take it." And then Kris replied, "Oh well, obviously."
It's a totally different story.
Yeah,
then.
it's completely
That's not-
different.
Listen, that's not the same, Isaiah. And
Yeah.
I'd be more concerned that your character would be killed off in a horrible way than
Yeah, exactly.
a romantic storyline.
Yeah, and like at the same time, it's like just I can't believe that she didn't let him do it. That's crazy. That feels like pause on way too much.
Well, I didn't know he was an actor. Wasn't he like her bodyguard or something?
Yes.
Or and then they love each other or something. But I didn't know he was into acting.
Yeah, I didn't know he was either. Like I'm looking at his IMDb. I mean, he doesn't really have any. He's known for a bunch of things that I've never seen
Besides
before.
being on the Kardashian show.
Yeah, he's on the Kardashian
that is
show,
acting.
and then he's in 2 other things. One of them named Glitter Ain't Gold.
Okay.
Never heard of it. The other one is 2 Minutes of Fame. Doesn't seem that real.
Have you watched any of the Yellowstone stuff now that it's on like CBS, so it's on broadcast, so they edit it?
I haven't seen it yet, but my brother loves it and says I should
Does
watch
he?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you watched
Everybody
it?
seems. I've watched a lot of Yellowstone on social media, so I only get clips of it. But it always looks really good. It's just not available in like one streaming location to make it easy without paying for it, and I don't feel like paying for it. But it does. It's always good.
Because it's broadcast on what?
It's oh gosh, it's not Paramount. Is it Paramount?
It might be
it's-
Paramount or Peacock or what. I don't know. It's one of those weird ones that.
But then Amazon has it on one, like you can pay, but then not all the seasons stream. It's like a weird who owns it sort of problem.
Got it. Yeah, but for me, I have not. I'm looking at it now. It says Paramount, Fubo, Peacock has it. A bunch of all the weird ones have Yellowstone. So if you want to buy something that you probably don't have, you can check it out. But you will not see Corey Gamble on it.
She said no.
She said absolutely not.
You just heard the worst of the worst. We'd give you the best of the best, but we'd have to find that. As soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.